Alright, we have returned with our new game. I was debating whether or not I want to play another talking game, but you know what? Let's fucking do it. Oh wait, where is it? What the hell? There it is. Alright, cool. Capshore. Ta-da! The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I will have to... There we go. Alright, update the stream title. Let me just update Twitter. Do a tweeter. The tweets haven't tweeted. And we shall end this music. It's very good. I will keep this for there we go. Stop. Okay. I will keep this for the next time doing sorcery. Or perhaps any other game like that that I decide to play. That's very good music. That's that was Nightingale Lo-Fi on SoundCloud. Yeah. It's very good. I just randomly searched for like fantasy DMCA free music and found that, and it's wow. It's freaking excellent. Like holy crap. I'll share that on Twitter later. Um, All right, let us begin this. Let me get over here. Can I use my controller? Excellent. Is it too okay? I have to turn this up now. There we go. There we go. There's the music. There's the Ace Attorney music. All right. Select adventure. Obviously, with the first game, why not? You know, it would make sense to start with the first game. Having never played this before, obviously, since first time officially translated to English. Ooh, voice acting.
A push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Oh, frick.
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
What the flip? Isn't that supposed to be the main character? What the flip? What a twist. Episode 1, The Adventure of the Great Departure. 22nd November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Judiciary Defendants, Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court of Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yuma University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes. Until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, I know. I would suppose that. Huh? Okay. I don't know what that was. We're good, I think. No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. Ha ha ha. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yuma University professor murdered in cold blood by a student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. Hold on, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I think we're good. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Sogi, my best friend. Also in his second year at Yuma University. But he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyways. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma! It looks like you're gonna get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So, you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. It was strange after that. That's when it happened. Sogi, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Sogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. This is awkward. If I may... Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yuma University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard the name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Sogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Sogi's been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if you should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked. Never granted again. What? Ah, as I suspected, you weren't aware of this. I had a feeling Sogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, the dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants from overseas studies. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant? Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Oh, hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, I have returned. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Joining found guilty for failing to appear. Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of starting brought her over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead. Oh, that's him speaking. With absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. 22nd November, 9 o'clock a.m. Supreme Court Judiciary, Courtroom 2. So this is a courtroom? The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? The trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public, only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, is this like a hoax? Is this a hoax to test my skills? Is that all it is? It's a giant hoax. No one actually got murdered. You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Uh, hmm. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be presided 2 days prior to trial. As is an unusual circumstance, I am obligated to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defense in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? The answer I do. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now, before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, in the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judiciary of Japan, which I cannot say that word. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? I'll be right back. How do you say that then? Alright, once again, I return. Yeah. Drinking some water. Should mean I must go to the bathroom again later. Alright. Yes, Your Excellency. Is it therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken? Oh, it is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous, I can't even remember that. What was it again? Reinosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. Oh my goodness. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of RB. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press RB for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. RB. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with RB. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. John H. Wilson, the victim of the case. He's visiting professor from the University from the British Empire. Okay. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you'd better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press Y to present. Try it now. Yes. Present. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor in it from England, invited to Yuma University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as much as you will be aware, we've just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of an Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilled on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yuma University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education? Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case has come under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Peculiarities. Bleh, the words are fun. Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow, then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, that's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen them at a university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. And so I went over to Professor Sable and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question for you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. Johnny Wilson, lose his life? State before the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously, that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death, and select present. Do it now! Death occurred after 2 p.m. and was caused by a loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through. Death, shortly 2 p.m. Single bullet. Fatal hemorrhage from no bullet did not pass through body. Percent. Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, the doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, the police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, Counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly your defense lawyer today, not me. Well, that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. You could speak with him before. He simply said, Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking Zoran, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is run in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you're wearing that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Why is it blowing on the wind when there's no... I just noticed that. There's no wind. How is there's no wind here? How is he? What the fuck? Ah, waiter. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Oh, just a little bit of blood there. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. And this grim crime occurred in those district's so-called restaurants. an Occidental eatery 3 years ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from this aspiring lawyer boy, please. Perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It's just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. And that fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was a Hughes University student. Hold on, just let me clarify something here. Well, I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor. I didn't shoot him. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you'll be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Reinosuke, you'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand is the same man we see here in court today? Yes, without question. I say, and apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Reinosuke? That's just not right. When I remember Dr. Wilson say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. Oh, that's the Reinosuke. Oops. I've been worried about interjecting, but still, what should I do here? Do it. Yes. Hold it. Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? You're blatant disregard for court proceedings. I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume? That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan added to the court record as evidence. Well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. So there's something fishy about that, huh? So, the court has now heard a precise of the case. Seems. Can I examine it? Magnifying glass. There's something odd. Huh. So that's his kitchen, that's his entrance. That is... Oh, wait. Is there? Oh, no, is that the other side, or is that stuff that's crossed out? Or stuff that's been, like, erased or something? I don't know. Have to figure it out. So, according to 100% of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim is the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this witness an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm gonna be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Want to be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor McToba said it, and so is the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Yeah. Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. I invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Ouchi, please continue with proceedings. Tisk, well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witness. Witnesses? Witnesses? Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Witnesses multiple? Altogether? Oh, okay. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant... Army Sergeant... Iyasa Nosa, reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the effervescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasutse, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Kiryu Koritsuda at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer. It sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looked more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner, in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during the last thing he said. So, this is the decisive evidence that prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? And if I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment of the incident occurred. Yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. I changed his voice a little bit, didn't I? Kind of sounds similar to the other guy. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Wait, it's immediately what? Nope. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim? Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. Their cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, just as I was picking it up. Bang! Well, if that's the truth, there's obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Well, I mean, right away there's a outstanding contradiction, so... Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine? Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there's no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. And certainly, the testimony the court has heard. I keep saying Kurt. Fuck. Court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. Yes. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean, the defense demands its right to cross-examination. Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How could he possibly be carried out cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it, it's irrelevant. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? We didn't fire the gun, which means what the soldier said had to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then. It's all or nothing. His slaps were less commanding than... What the fuck? What the witnesses saw. Alright. Blah blah blah. Blah blah. Yes, yes, yes. Rangers discharged, then his actions with no eyes. Fired an Englishman salient, and from the back. Present. Right here. How peculiar. Wait, do I... No, I don't choose the thing, I just present it? Okay, I just present it then. His eyes. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache? Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense! What can this print possibly tell us we didn't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency. There is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spill it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at this photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Iasinosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired an English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military great eyes, sir. But no, that just can't be. Why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, What was that? Something just popped out from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. I'm confused. What the fuck? Is that a baby there? What the fuck? Certainly there's a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Le Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. His witness, Sergeant Isa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There's no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Just throwing it back in his face. Yeah! There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from the one discrepancy. Oh man, it's been a while since I've played one of these games. It's fun. It's fun to get back into this. Oh, I love it. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That university kid there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed, the Hoya Koban, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place it in my bosom pockets, a peculiar trinket of interest from my shop in Rasute. In the hope of meeting a rich Dun who might have to buy it from you? And on the day under scrutiny, it was the military man that I proffered my holy treasure. I believed that he would purchase such a rare find. I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished? Oh, I'm doing his voice wrong. The Koban vanished? Oh shit, I forgot his voice now. Fuck. Hunting around at the table, I was in case. Mayhap had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoey treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, precious Hoey Kaban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prized coin for himself. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony that the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ochi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witness to testify again. He will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegations. Is that clear? It's clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up to the ranks, sir. Name? Ido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido. Teen Chun. Your father's out to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. What the heck? The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed. Alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could dispatch the Englishman. Over and out. These testimonies are certainly compelling. Wait, that's nonsense. Dr. Mason wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. You're not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. This is a photographic print at the scene of the crime, counsel. Indeed. At the table which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of the print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. The print has been added. Okay, wait a minute, but that does... Hold on. Did I... First photo, was that... Okay, he was at the... Okay, I thought he was at the other side of the table for some reason. So let's see if that's accurate to... Yeah, I guess that looks right? There's no weird thing missing or any weird... Okay, yeah. Oops, back. I meant to press back, hit press A. Or can't see the knife, presumably that's there. Yeah, okay. I guess that makes sense. Alright. Wait. No, guys. Alright. No. Okay. Okay. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh in the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Aichi, will have contributed to the enmity of these two great empires is an honor. What a name. Ay. How can this be happening? I'm just ready to rule. Stand tall, Rimnosuke. Not over yet. What? What you say is true. There's something going on here behind the scenes. Now's your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? The rules can be so unbending at times. I'm not sure what to... Can I press on stuff yet or no? Yeah, let's try and just press it. See if we can find anything. No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Teen Shun. The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? Grrr. And let us not forget the antique stealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, correct, Kuda-san? Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Can't really press that, I don't think. Visual supremacy at the time confirmed to be the only personnel present. Let me just look at this. There's something that I'm missing here. I just don't know, like... If I'm just using the magnifying glass, I'm not sure I can really figure that out, unfortunately. I might have to wait. The only thing that's weird is like the way some of them are drawn, but that could just be whoever drew this was like just rushing, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna use that. Okay. Press again. Just press this one to see what's this. You must have there was someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. And as you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. If only the remarkable dining there at the time. Someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know. Of course the place was almost empty. That's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Auto clinic? Yes, there would indeed appear to be an interest for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Reinosuke? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's manuscript to be submitted as evidence or not? Yeah, ask for it to be submitted, of course. As much evidence as possible. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention the victim's movement prior to his arrival at the restaurants are of no concern. Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defendant's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Okay. So look at that. What we need right now is new clues. Yes, let me look at that, see what the hell it has on it. No, okay, there's nothing, I can't look at it directly. Okay. It's supposed to be 29? What the fuck? He looks way older than, I'm 29, he looks way older than 29, holy shit. Like, that guy looks more his age at 38. Like, that, I would think he'd be around this guy's age, 38. You know, what the hell? 29, what the fuck? Jesus. Well, reading out his new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Well, perhaps you'd forgotten, but these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kuda-san. What was this next thing? Alone he was the Englishman, done it all by himself. Only the black uniform that could dispatch the Englishman around. Just press that, I guess. I don't know. Why aren't you telling the truth? What did you say, Cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. He remains silent. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony in the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said the victim was alone. Ah, that's right. Precisely. In other words, you were the sole performer of this phantom lady. But I... If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Reinosuke. You've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't say that brings any real discrepancies to light. Well, I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps you should examine it in a little more detail. Now, how exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A, and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use... Oh, I can rotate them. Oh, shit. That's what button I was doing before with the card. Okay. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using... Yes, I see. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. The crosshairs start to pulsate. Press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there's something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use those buttons to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. Okay. John Wilson, Heart Clinic. It says Heart Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics, almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I ever had in my life. I remember, even though I felt awful already, I'd had this hideous injection in my right arm. I'll never forget it, never in my whole life. Most people who give the right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Nothing else in the front, I see. Okay, what's in the back here? Nothing. Dentist date, no date on there, weirdly enough. Don't understand that. It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With the family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine coming to the doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'll never be consulting one. Well, buddy. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible-tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then man wants the money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. The bad case of stubbornness, Celeste, which only cures very bitter medicine indeed. I'm gonna open the page, I guess. Okay. Can I just... Well, let's have a look. There's some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an issue for the day Professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Anesthesia? Anesthesia? Is that... Oh my god, I can't pronounce that fucking word. Extraction of molar? You mean you get a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps he used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds information worth bearing in mind. Aha. Well, that's 100% contradictory to... Okay. How could he have eaten that shit? The meaning of the one particular statement totally changes. And so I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Yeah, see? We'll go over evidence. Okay. Okay. Okay, is that... Should I do that statement? Or, oops. Ah, okay, this is probably it. Dying all by himself. Present this. Love his fucking look. His eyes just like, well, I think, about what are you wondering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on the words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. And I could see quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. You raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully. You knew exactly what it is you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Correct-san, this metal report card belongs to the victim. Ah, I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statements, something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But, let's see if I can explain your words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's, Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could possibly have perpetrated the crime. This medical report had nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst how petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hata Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? That's supposed to mean something to me. Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. Oh, what's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't... Kurikuta-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You've assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. That cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of its teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner. What? What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are basically accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. Exactly. You can clearly see the plate of the plate of food at the victim's table. Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? Oh, goodness. I think it's fair to say that the tables and others... No. No, the tables turned. No, the turntables, fuck. God damn it. Why would you say this? Why would you pun here? Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person making the steak at the victim's table must have been an as of yet unknown third party. Obviously, it could have been someone else who was sitting at the president's table. You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government? So worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? You demonstrated with evidence the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out the two of you deliberately lied in giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! Negative. There was no mention of the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they are told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Karakuda-san? Oh, you were just following orders. Now, hold on, lad. I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman. Grrr. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with the lady from overseas? What? What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? just one. Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order, council, explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You're trying to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. And who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirators to this murder, are you? You wouldn't... This can't be happening. Marinosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Eiichi had any idea about it. Well, what are you saying? I mean, to what other kind of influence? There are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm we try to silence the witnesses, we can continue our pursuit. We to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield this or her power here. But how? How can you possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything, make sure there's nothing we missed. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the card. Seems a little peculiar. Chief Inspector. Mr. Waiter, eh? Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see this as the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yeah, his business card is attached to the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau? Inspector, what on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. They're wielding it somewhere out here. The waiter's business card information has been updated. Oh! How that's turn tables, yes. Would you re-examine everything that's missed? Okay. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god, I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency, no time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes to my head. Oh, Raid, Altorius, holy shit. Thank you. Bear Raid, Bear? Oh, well, thank you for the raid, oh my goodness. Cool. Hell yeah, welcome people, welcome. I don't know who you are, Altorius, but, hey, how do you do the shadow thing? It's S-O... Altorius _. Is that how it is? Yeah. Oh, no, the shadow didn't work. I don't know how to do shadows, apparently. Alright, cool, whatever. You're a bear. Are you a bear tuber then, perhaps? Is that what I'm gleaming from this information here? Yeah, playing the Great Eastern Chronicles. I'm on the first case here. I was playing Sorcery earlier, and then I finished part 1, so I was like, I'll change it up a bit, change to something else. So now I've changed to this Hosonaga-san, the waiter who took the stand earlier. Poppycock. Bear-sama is bear. Okay, yes, okay, yes. What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. Owner of the Classy Bear Inn at your service. Oh, okay. Cool beans. Hell yeah. If that is the man who truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga, San's real identity, is proven by this evidence.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. The first case. This case, by being the first case, the classic tutorial case, as they do in these games. It's the back of the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's what the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on this reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, the Imperial Police Bureau. I can't say words. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard mention of this before. I haven't heard mention of this before. The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, the witnesses, they're in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Eh? Then he comes back. The Inspector Hosonaga! And I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It is my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Of course. Your salary must... I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? Shaking my head. That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you elaborate on one point for the court. Still acts like a butler, just with the bowing and shit. Of course, Your Excellency. You've just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. That is indeed true. Clearly, you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I'm led to assume... that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Incorrect. Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. Bang. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran to the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say? Remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman being murdered on our soil, to name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect. Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. He's just so confused. He has no idea what's going on. The judge is annoyed as fuck. Kazuma thinking. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yuma University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying the medical facilities research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table is a certain Miss Giselle Brett. Giselle, right? Yeah, Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yuma University's medical faculty. I'm saying facility. What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, in order for these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your Excellency to decide how to deal with the situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we now have discovered, that this premise is false. It would be desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But Your Excellency, that would be missing the noon deadline of our ruling in order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other influence to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. We will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem? With the blood, Jesus Christ. Would like to know what's up with the blood there. Nothing will get in my way. Well, I was originally thinking he was like kind of maybe the true culprit. Maybe he's not, and he was really just following orders. I don't know. Court will adjourn briefly. Prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency. Good. We'll have a 30-minute recess before convening. To be continued. Oh, is that the... No, that can't be the first time they've done a to be continued in the first case, right? It's gotta be another game that did that. I can't remember, though. I don't recall. Probably not the first 3 games. I don't think they did that. I don't know. Isn't it usually, like... Well, it has been going on for long. It's like been like... Oh shit, it's been almost like 2 hours. Close to 2 hours. Hour and 50th minutes since I started this. Damn. It's probably one of the longer first cases. The longest first case? Huh. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. Sounds like he has no real confidence in his friend. It was a grim sight. Before I knew it, he started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. Oh, yeah. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your Phantom Lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain. Is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. Just after I bent down and picked it up. Bang! I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet. And he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking about the detective, he apprehended the suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Is this the other professor guy? Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikutoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. The modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I want to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyways. What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John S. Wilson was a visiting professor at Yume. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, we're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Brendan Naruhodo. Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. Before those old fossils know what hits them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed in me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already be found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. And coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad? That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra portion, of course. Extra large portion, of course. Yes, of course. Let's say November 12:09 p.m. Supreme Court Room 2. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Ochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. But you'll still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down our nation and our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry. The friendship between our nations is really so fragile, and the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? Secret trial? Anxiety over some foreign government's opinions? A bungled investigation? Missing witnesses? Is this where our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up! Shut up, you chumped up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. Well, I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in the Supreme Court, there's one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth and justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Reinosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Council. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system. It exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Chisel Brett. Yes. Your Excellency! Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea. Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupations for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. Naga. I keep saying Noga. What the fuck? I've been working undercover as... Yes, we all know about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet, your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Inosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if it may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. How do I make her sound? What the fuck? Oh. Okay, let me guess. She only speaks English, and they're all speaking Japanese. Is that the implication here? Okay. Well, okay. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What? Okay, so translation's required. Got it. Okay. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in Yuma University's medical faculty, not facility. Well, oh my, what a rare treat to hear dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird song. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. Haha, you'll obviously be fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks this beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if it may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? Whisper, 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 whisper. Whisper, 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 whisper. Look at that show in like cursive-ish? I don't know. Not entirely cursive, but messy cursive. She says yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? Makes sense, okay. Yep. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. You're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, sitting right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. But I didn't do it. I just held the gun. I just, took the gun from the scene of the crime. What's the harm in that? Order in the court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I'll have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly to the court an exact nature of this frightening, sorrowful sight you described. Whisper, 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 whisper. Is she pretending to not know Japanese? Is that it? Or to not, like, speak it very well or something? A frightening, sorrowful sight. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only, a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. I don't think so. I don't think so, buddy. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. Sure, lady. This is condemning... Okay, couldn't say the words. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Why, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard, and look at this snow-white angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can't imagine whose words the court is going to believe. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before. I reported back to the bureau. I decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could have concealed a firearm. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless, and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words in the matter. Eric, that's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. With that smirk. That smirk, though. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Running sorrowful sight. Alright. I don't think I can present any evidence. Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I've returned. Daughter just woke up for a second. Just had to take care of that. Make sure she was okay. Alright, where were we? Let's see. Late luncheon with Dr. Wilson for the day. She was unable to eat. Told for myself. Yes. We got into a fierce argument. I mean, I can just press this, I guess. I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please, don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all what? Supiku Ingarishi? What? He's trying to say speak English, and oh god, that's alright, that's a little Capcom, the localization, okay, that's oh, hold on 1 second, my daughter is still awake. Hold on, she's asking for me. I'll be right back. Okay, I've returned once again. I think she's falling asleep now, hopefully, so, if not, I might have to cut this short before I finish the case, so well. Let's see how far I can get, if I can finish it. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. You have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. And that part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And then the next time you got up after that was when I finished my coffee and stood up to leave. I mean, didn't do that. I'll do that. Press that, I guess. Like I said, I did not shoot the gun. And like I said, there's no point in repeating the assertion over and over again. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but I love when he slaps the fucking table and it just makes like no sound almost. When all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes, there was someone much closer to the victim than me at the time. The highly suspicious lady. Well, that will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. Dirty? Your basic accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy. It seems to me, your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense. The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. Okay. Don't carry a gun. I mean, do you not carry a gun? Are you sure? You sure, lady? It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes, immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? You just asked her? Then surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No. Why on earth not? The Honorable English gentlewoman clearly stated she did not possess a weapon. There is obviously no need for any further probing into the matter. Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps. Think what you will, but if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. Whisper, whisper, whisper. The lady wishes to point out that, of course, she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. Not get her out of there. I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. Which is why she's only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course. Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you. But she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is an totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. Dressed exactly the same way you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even with your thick skin, must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony doesn't make me feel any better either. The first thing to do is press her on your statements to seem even slightly off to you. And I've been doing that. I haven't done all of them, though. Do that and opening will present itself, I promise you. And to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Okay. Okay. Alright, I'll just press everything else then. Press, press, press. It's the way we do things. We fake it till we make it. That's the Phoenix right way, so why not? After 2 p.m., in fact, that's really quite a late lunch, isn't it? You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are in vogue, isn't that right? No. Just as English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems, so it was apparent a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Ms. Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, all that makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? Okay. Yes. Press on that. He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at Hada Clinic, right? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who hit the stake pictured here. Was that right, Miss Brett? And why was he in the seat? It's just a slightly... Is that something to point out? Why was he in that seat? I don't know. That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I'll crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. Other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears the diners toasted the lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Renosuke, about the witness's last statement? It's meaningful. Yes. Again with the slap, god damn it. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing, The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well. Miss Brett, kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm gonna remember that one. And which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. Okay, so... I mean... Bottle of carbonated water. Yeah, both? There's just one, right? Just one glass. Is that... I guess I'm gonna try it. Fuck it. Just fuck it.
Yes!
That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Seems like it was right. Alright, cool. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is, it's odd. Very odd. Dear me. What's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah! You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here. Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutia, right? Is that word? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection!
Minutiae, would you say? Minutiae? I don't. Minutiae? I don't know. That word you say. Could it be the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. There should have been 2 glasses at the table. Or you want to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? And you're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious. Sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. I must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it that you are going now to accuse this vulnerable, young, beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. And I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped into a small handbag she was carrying. And the handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency, a small handheld pouch commonly carried by a well-to-do woman in England. Alright, well, if she has a handbag that can fit a whole glass in it, then it can fit a whole gun in it. Like, case closed. So, the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that the glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning. Wait. He's trying to confuse the court with logical wait, so he's trying to confuse them with making sense that, Okay. But in the end, it comes to nothing. Trying to confuse them with the truth. That's what you're trying to say. No more pretentious accusations. You've wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady's offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed the glass. Is it satisfactory, though? I think henceforth we consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel will advance. Are you in agreement? Well, I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. There's deeper significance there. It's the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But, what she forgot to mention was her handbag. It would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right! Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, he induced there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Chiselbrett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir. I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun. The one that was actually used to kill the professor. Could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No! Order, order, order. What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ochi? Why on earth did not the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. I'm putting to work, partner. Now I have a chance to expose the real one behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? As he coughs up tons of blood and just, what the fuck? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you've no faith in the police. Huh? As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I have completely forgotten about. Well, that sounds a little too convenient for me. This photographic print. This print is a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediate effect after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. The contacts are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. And as you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. What? Order, order. Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. Part of the handbag has been entered into the court record. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. Let me just look at that. Sure. Anything funky about it? What is this? What is this? Tattoo? Or something? A brand or a tattoo? Something like that? It's gotta be something, right? It's like a bowl. Is that, I don't know if that has significance now. I don't know. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. Well, so got his face. No, just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was in the start. Kazuma? He sees something. Or no, he doesn't see something? I don't know. I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now the cross-examination of the witness is over. There's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean... this is it? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. The weak are meat, while the strong eat. You're wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, the dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma, what? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. I mean... Very well, I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. It's very Phoenix Wright to nitpick, but like that little tattoo or branding or whatever it is just really sticks out, and it's like yeah, I'll just let's see if we can push on that. That smug little Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Having considered all the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you. Yes. I hereby find you yes. Oh, actual like he made sound when he made big sound when he hit. He's growing. His power. It's absolute. Oh my goodness. Wait, your excellency. Ryunosuke? I don't think you can rule out this case yet. This amateurness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted here said no further significance. There's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means if there is a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean... And ruling the case at this time would be out of the question. This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There'd be no problem with this evidence. You'd better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I failed to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. Ha! I thought exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of the rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph in which just doesn't seem right. I'm going to put my finger on it. Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But be warned that if I am unsatisfied with your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Make myself clear? I gotta go with that. That's the only thing I can see in that picture. Just the little bowl thing. Yes, Your Excellency. So, taking a look at this photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. We'll identify it for the court. Where on this print you see the significant detail to which you have alluded. I always try to make it exact. I know it's not. I know it has a thing. It can be like. It doesn't have to be exact, but look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description. Dear me, I was wondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly there's nothing to do with whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea what the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. Yeah. However, as Prosecutor Ouchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, a cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Britt has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn has something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn to the victim's wrist in the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. As soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. Okay, so there's something else currently in what we have for evidence. This is the moment of truth. Time to find some evidence that proves what burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. Alright, not that. Not that. This doesn't show anything, does it? No, I don't think so. The other photo, maybe? Oh, okay. Hello. Yes. Okay, I missed something earlier. Yes. This. I see.
Yes.
I see. What's this, Counsel? Need another print? Yes, Your Excellency. These photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at the scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady further would really be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. Miss, I can really understand Japanese, probably. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have the unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How? You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. She'll record exactly what you mean. What's in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? You know, just some crazy shit right there. The beefsteak? Actually, what is the metal plate the steak was served on? Plate? Ah! Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. And I would guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnival. Ah! The emblem on the plate and the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ah! Ryunosuke, you genius. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered his burn while he was present at the restaurant. The gasp. But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before that. Most likely happened some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Eiichi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? Can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But... I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it was suffered very long ago. And, although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. Which is no mild burn, that's for sure, Boyne. That's a Boyne, Jesus Christ. Any more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating the restaurant for several weeks already, but not for anyone to scream at all. As the head waiter of the Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right, and the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day. That would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. And the rest of us in this restaurant, myself, the surgeon, and the old antique dealer, all of us would, without a question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchi? Well, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think it happened after death or something? Never jumped to a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe you've been led into a terrible trap. Only one explanation I can think of that makes sense of this apparent impossibility. The day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson is already deceased. No man can remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting... Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Oh, already dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. That's madness! Okay. So the gunshot is a red herring. Okay. Counsel, please explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot? That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is another ridiculous point by the rookie student. Clearly, he has no grasp of the facts. No, Prosecutor Ichi, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from those witnesses again. If it's true, as we now believe, the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard. It's highly likely that Miss Britz knows something about it. Incredible! I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. But, Your Excellency! The justice system in our country may be in its infancy. Rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Show the true colors. Big smile. Okay. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Yeah, of course she could speak Japanese all along. Why the fuck wouldn't she? Oh. No, my headphones have... My headphones have been fricked. I can't hear anything anymore. I accidentally hit something. What did I hit? You know what? Rip. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Guess I don't need to hear, but it's a little inconvenient for me to not. Well, of course I do. I'm studying in your country, after all. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. Wow, rude, rude. This is very rude. Rude lady. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. I said epitome. Oh my god, I said epitome. Jesus Christ. Epitome. Jesus Christ. I know that's one word I do know. God damn it. Fucking We're truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words. Well, I do think I broke my headphones. This is not great. Just tried resetting them and trying to. At least I broke the receiver, the wireless headphones, but that's annoying. Oh, the inconvenience hurts. Oh God. All right. Now about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. And so we're finally going to hear her own words in the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the postmortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please, do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. That's rude. More rudeness from her. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down into the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. I don't think so, sir. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I'll have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I'll be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Well, then you have to forgive this irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure to remind you, counsel, this will be a final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness testimony, I will be ruling the case immediately. Is that clear? Yeah. Smacks his face. Okay. Sure, why not? Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Okay. Let's try to keep pressing. Hmm. There's glasses and oh wait. Glasses no. Why does I have the post in per should know the possible cause of death? What does it say? Death occurred at 3 p.m. was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot. Wait. Fatal hemorrhage. And I still don't have enough proof or anything. Okay, I guess. Okay, I'll just press on each statement. I guess right now, until I can think of to do with the immediate moment. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly in those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ah! What fun. You hadn't realized. The dear lady is absolutely right. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Reinosuke. How come you didn't say anything, Kazuma? You didn't notice either, motherfucker. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh, yes, I think my tiny brain can. Okay. What the fuck? Well, I can't. Anyway. As you justified before, you were drinking carbonated water. Is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although, although, whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I have enough English to understand that, at least. The benefit of others in the court, it means bless you. Nope. Quite the opposite, sir. Quite the opposite. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway. Okay. Let's press on that. Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to his innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrist in the hot plate as soon as it was brought from that kitchen, he must have already been dead at that point. And yet, the fact is the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Aichi is right. Let me take him without leaving a trace. Please you should. Let's press on that. Without leaving a trace. If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces in the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I've always aimed for a flawless investigation. There be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Gasp. Oh no, perish the thought to call such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Takatsuchi Auchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspirations. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. Of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyways. Rude. Again, rude. Rude lady. Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. He thinks and he coughs. What's he doing? It doesn't even occur to you you're naive detectives trying to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand. Ha ha ha, killer blow! This lady's as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. This is actually admitting to our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Uchi's finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before, and something didn't seem quite right. Something with that specific statement? Okay. Huh. What do you think, Reinosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Reinosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person sitting next to her. Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If I present an opening, maybe. All right, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. All right, then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. We'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Let's press Miss Brett on the last statement again. Okay. Okay. Yep. Here. Press. Inferior, what do you mean by that? Blah, 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 blah. This country arrested it so. Exactly, blah, 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 blah. This guy. So what's he doing here? There it is again. Up to the reaction is just the same as before. Why? Lipinson, now the detective, has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. This testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. Right, look at him. He's lost his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Alright, is this a new gameplay thing introduced in these games? Sorry, pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Reinosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett. who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right with this button, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. When you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with A. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. All right, then. So first you move the marker across with bleh and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with and let's see what's on his mind. Here we go. Okay. Okay, right here, right here. Go, do the thing. Pressing the button. Do the thing. I'm pressing the button. Boop. Pursue. Excuse me. I like that one. Excuse me. What's the meaning of this? As he just dies. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. You know, he was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court. What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. And if you can't find fault with their testimony, then cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Osanaga. Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak. What is this development? The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Osanaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. I've literally stolen. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that... This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took from the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The world will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Okay. So, let me see just real quick. Can I examine? What does it say? The label's written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. It must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Go to France and ask. Alright, comedy troupe here. You just say that you don't know. Okay, so we don't know what it says. So then... Is that what it is, then? I don't know. Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well, counsel. You may resume the cross-examination. The inspector will kindly control his Fervor. That. Should I present it here? Remains glasses and toast. Could be wrong, but I don't completely understand. I mean, I could also press it near the end. I'll try it now. Nope. Well, what about the last statement made by that? Okay, well, fuck that one up. Yeah. Big F. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, alright. Figured I'd make one mistake. Alright. Then laser glasses. As far as I know, machine knowledge possibilities the gunshot. I mean, I guess here, right? That would be another spot that would make sense. I think, anyways. What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring, it's a poison. Poison? On Dave's death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? My goodness. Order, order, order. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? And the one person who could possibly have done it. Jezil Brett. It was you. Is this where she twists and turns? No? Okay. This is outrageous. It suggests such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Ever considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty? This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We're here to determine the truth. Grrr. If I may, I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack on the young. I couldn't speak in time. It is you. You should be silent. Of course. Dear lady. He's such a fucking pushover. Where did that come from? She just snapped. She reveals her true form. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. Not for my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I describe your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigate this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean. Inspector, whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? There are tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. You find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of your carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No. Yeah, that's it. Case over. Shit. I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. Cross examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution has asserted, a shot from the chest from the gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no. I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present this court at this point? The label's the only thing I can think of. Like, who can read French? Even though he's just the inspector is just undercover as a lawyer, doesn't mean he knows like what all the stuff is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I could immediately think it was that, but I'm sorry, Reynosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I must really be leaving. Who's gonna say it? Hold it. Eh? The inspector? Or no, the lady. Oh, she found it. She went to go find the thing. Okay, right. She was looking for something. Yep, okay. Please wait. Huh? Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Suzato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Is it the poison? To be continued. Ah, frick. Is it gonna keep going? Shit. Sorry to quite late over here. I don't know if I can continue on writing. Shit. I want to. I want to press forward. This is actually the what the fuck? There's a part 3 to this trial. Shit. Alright, I might actually have to call it for the night then. I was thinking it'd be over. I was thinking this would be it. It would only be 2 parts. Shit. This is by far the longest first case, right? I'm trying to think. What was actually maybe the latest game? Maybe Spirit of Justice was. I'm trying to think how long that was. Because I only finished the first case in that one. I never got around to finishing the rest of it. That was kind of long, I think. Huh. Shoot, though. Frick. Damn it. It's gonna like actually kill me inside to like not know what happens, but it's fucking 2:30 over here. I'm dying. Got it. Ah, yeah. All right. I gotta sleep then. Shit. I'm actually a little hungry too. I gotta have a late snack and then go to bed. Oh, that's frustrating. I'm annoyed. I wish that was. Ah, fuck. I'm gonna be annoyed if I come back to this and it's like it's 2 seconds later. Why would you do a part? No, why would you do a whole part 3 then? There's got to be more to this. We have to figure out. Um, I just saved. It's fine. Whatever. I saved the game already. It's saved. Don't worry, Ace Attorney. I saved. Ah, frick. Ah, frickin' heck. Ah, gosh darn ding dong dang. Ah, heckin' blur. Alright, well, that's the stream for tonight. I'm may finish that up tomorrow then, actually. If all goes well, I'll either have a longer stream starting earlier or have 2 streams, one early and one normal time. I'm gonna be showing off the ramp that comes out tomorrow. It's a cool little skateboarding game. I got code for it, but never found out if I could actually stream it before it released. So I was like, all right, I'll just wait until the actual release day and then I'll stream it. So I'll stream that tomorrow at some point. And then maybe we'll do more. I was gonna do more sorcery. I was gonna do part 2, but shoot. Okay, well, I guess I'll do this then. I'm so annoyed. That's by far the longest case, right? Maybe it's just going long because I'm reading out loud, and I do tend to read kind of fast, so maybe that's why it seems like I'm like not. That's why it's like I don't know. Heck and heck. Fuck. That's so annoying to me. Okay. Well, I will see you tomorrow. I'll keep posted on Twitter to see what the fuck my schedule is. What I do tomorrow. Like I said, I don't know when exactly I'll stream. If I stream early or if I stream one stream early and then one stream later. I'll just see what I'm up to. Figure it out. Oh, well, thank you for being here, people. Thank you for the raid again, Altorius. That is a heck of cool. Fucking don't know the last time I had a raid. That's first time in a long ass time. Probably not since like a year ago. Fuck. All right. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.